tell you how uncomfortable it was for me watching those news stories and clips because Laban is someone I know personally. And I was like, wait, nah, no, no. He put his name against terrorism charges? No,
Yeah, that
come
was
on.
wild.
You're blowing it out of proportion, and pun intended there.
I see what you did there. Wow.
But there's many questions, and Shiro, you can be saying hi to Laban.
Hi, Laban.
How many months has it been?
Hi.
How long has it been?
Precious. She'll be 3 years plus.
Oh, wow.
From the newsroom to government, and I think
And
back
everything
to the
in
social
between.
newsroom.
Yeah, and everything in between.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's been quite a turbulent, I want to say 7 months for you now?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I'll say the first 3 months, to be honest. The first
Yes.
3 months were the most challenging. Then the other, so it's what been, yeah, actually 7 months, yes. So the last 4 months have been more of a self-discovery.
Yes.
Reinventing myself, you know.
Okay.
What would they ask you? What makes me, you know, like what? So that episode taught me a lot.
Yeah.
So the first 3 months was pretty tough, but then later on, you just rediscovered and said, wait a minute, actually, I have this. Okay.
Your perspective.
Yes.
But like, let's just go now from the jump. What
Yes.
happened in December?
This is December 18th,
Yeah.
Yes.
2022.
Yes.
I mean,
Last year.
yeah. What happened? The story, yeah.
What do you know?
The story that is put out there and that has been reported across various platforms. There is Daily Nation. I see Citizen.
Yeah.
I see even Pulse. But now Pulse were reporting on why DPP dropped a terror case against Laban-Cliff Onserio. Now this is an established journalist, business journalist, and chief of staff at State House, as well as at the Standard Media Group. A co-rally driver,
Yes.
Oh, wow, yes.
a father of 3 and a husband of 1. This is a man who's like made it. He's been to the top, the house
The
on the hill.
mountaintop, yeah.
And then you're hearing such stories. And on December 18th, like what happened? They talk about you were caught with some explosive device in your car and you threatened to use it.
Yeah.
The cops had to call the guards had to call the cops. The cops had to call the ATPU who took over the case.
Yeah.
And you were in for about what, 12, was it 12 days?
Yes.
12 days,
Yes.
Danny.
Yes.
And then they dropped the charges. But in what was reported,
Yes.
bro, ulikuwa fanya nini na grenade?
Yeah. That's actually
tell
what
us the
I wanted to ask you.
Okay. There's so many sides to this story. That's why I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Now, which one do we start?
Where do we sift the wheat from the chaff?
Yeah. Here goes.
What was that device doing in your possession?
Come on, guys. You're putting me on the spot. Can I please just give you context first?
Okay,
Give us
let's
context.
contextualize.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, it's good to be here. It feels good to be back on air. Yeah, just as we did in Nation for 5 years.
Yeah.
Good times. The last 10 years of my career have been very, very exciting. I am really grateful. Ground up, straight up from the newsroom, jumped into government, had a good experience at State House. Awesome. Now, after, and I need to talk about this because there's a political angle to all these things in terms of like, you know, you worked for the former president and now, you know, there's a whole new dispensation as well. Full respect and hats off to the leadership. I chose to go back to the newsroom because of what's happening.
Right.
The cheese has moved. We are on air. I mean, we used to be going there at 9 o'clock. And I said, okay, wait, let me just get something different. And the Standard Group, to be honest, was there. I said, okay, I've never worked at Standard. We worked at Nation for 5 years, CNBC, being a Reuters and Bloomberg fellow. I said, okay, let me just go back to media.
Yeah.
The media space at the moment is, I would say, just an issue maybe of culture. We just need to change the culture, move with the times, but the pace is not as fast.
Right.
I'm setting the scene into how we got it to December. It was a year already at
Standard.
And of course, really fast-paced. You're trying to really move with the times. You're trying to really see, okay, what's happening? How can we adopt the new media perspective, future of media, stuff like that. So really, really busy year, I must say. And of course, Yeah, father of Laura, father of Labella, I should say. It's my last born daughter. Layson later, those are my twin boys, and my wife Laura said, okay, wait a minute. Took a bit of family time as well. And getting to the tail end of the year, I said, okay, wait a minute, guys, let's come on, let's do something exciting. 16th was my birthday of December. I said, okay, wait a minute, it's the end of the year, things are slowing down, let's attend Soulfest. So, and hats off, I mean, Soul to Soul, you can see them touring the world, really, really, really amazing.
Great bunch of guys, yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I was. I mean, I went into Soulfest and had a fantastic evening.
Yeah.
And here I was with my wife and several other friends as well. And I said, okay, cool, guys, it's been a challenging year. Really excited, and let's just see what next. So what you're seeing out there is basically, I'm not, these are colleagues, I mean, sure, come on.
Yes,
these
I
are
know.
folks we've worked with. So I'm not going to castigate and say, okay, this is my side of the story. This is what, I'm not doing any press release or any rejoinder or anything about it. So we agreed. After the event, there was a confrontation that happened. The confrontation came in after sitting down with a few friends and saying, okay, wait a minute, we just disagreed. It was a disagreement that just went
Went out of hand, yeah.
Yeah, went out of hand. Now, granted, look straight at the camera, I'm not a terrorist, folks.
I mean, let's be clear.
So that's out of the window. A boy from Nakuru who's just come to Nairobi, really focused and hungry for success and just to provide for the family.
Yeah.
So that is out there. So the fact that I worked in the former president's office doesn't have anything to do with what went through. In fact, you alluded to the 12 days in custody as the investigations went on. It was all about just being clear. Because, I mean, guys say, oh, I know the powers that be, so I can try and interrupt, with the system or anything. So it was a pure case of making sure that you put yourself out there, get investigated.
And go through the process without any kind of appearance of, because of your previous position, you want to fast track.
Yes. Oh, yeah, fast try. Like that. That's a good how it happens in Kenya. We will sort you nothing about that. And I'm so grateful because I have appreciated the judicial system in this country and the ATPU, as we call them. These are guys who wake up not knowing if they're going to go back home to their families. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
They just wake up because you don't know what you're going to face.
Yeah.
So I met them. You see them all masked up and with their helmets and everything.
Looking very intimidating.
Yeah. But I know them. They're real. They
know some of the personnel. Yeah.
So from the judicial system, from the police, from the DPP, and hats off to the team as well. Because now I understand. Okay, well, of course, we've reported all these things, man, on
but when
TV.
you're in it.
But when you're in it, man, you're like, oh, wow, we have efficient systems over here.
Wow.
And this is world class. And people actually travel. I'm saying the people, here, the judicial officials in the region, come into Kenya to benchmark. What exactly are we talking about? When you talk about our terrorism strategies, when you talk about our judicial systems and what have you. So I'm grateful to see the back end. And sorry, I know some of the stuff perhaps that we will say on air maybe would not have that perspective of the behind the scenes. Now, I'm very careful of, of course, what I can spoke about, because what I saw, some of it, of course, it's really detailed, and I have an agreement to share a lot into, what I saw. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's just that the counterterrorism strategies we have, it's top level security. That you don't joke around. And I think to anyone out there who might feel like, oh, is Kenya a safe place to invest? Is Kenya a safe place to live in? This is the number of foiled attacks that happen in Nairobi. It's unbelievable.
Things that you don't even know about.
And your co-host, Okari is such a great, crime reporter, and he has all the behind the scenes in terms of these guys, what they do and stuff like that. So I'm grateful to them. I'm grateful that they confirmed. They went through the case and said, this guy is not a terrorist, yes.
Okay.
And then, of course, their lessons learned. It was my birthday, to be honest. My birthday and anniversary. Guys, cut me some slack. So somebody saying, oh, no, why? Come on, man. Definitely. And guess what, Mark? On the 16th of December this year is, again, the Saudi Soul will be also, having another function as well. Same weekend, and we're having a banter with them.
Are you planning to go?
They're breaking up something.
Brian, I need to be there.
It's going to be the final
just to
one.
make sure nothing gets out of hand. I'm your brother.
No. Please, welcome. But I mean, it's supporting our local. I mean, you see them travel the world.
I get you.
And these are our people. So why not, man? Just do something.
I get that. You said that there's a lot of things you can't talk about, the things that you saw, and we respect that. But one thing that I do want to know is how you felt, because I'm quite sure you're at perfect liberty to speak about that.
For sure. Yeah.
Even earlier we were talking about how you're a member of the media fraternity, right? And then this occurs and hits the headlines. Did you feel a sense of, wow, we were in the same fraternity and this is how you're going to do me?
You dragged me in the mud.
Yeah?
Oh,
did you have that sense of almost betrayal?
A bit of it.
Yeah.
A bit of it. Now it felt, I felt firsthand what it means to be story 1, story 2, story 3.
Wow.
Yes. And you're like, wait a minute. And somebody tweeted actually and said, you guys, you're always used to, because there's always a back and forth, especially with the stories that we do. You said, you did not get my story right. Now I fully understand, because remember, there was no press statement from my family, from my lawyer, or from anyone that went out. Everyone just went to one side of it. So I felt like perhaps there would have been a side, say, okay, Laban, can you please comment or say something?
Right.
I know it only went to the lawyer statements. That's fine, what was already presented in court, but I felt like it was a bit on the extreme in terms of understanding, okay, exactly what was the context to this. I mean, what do you mean blow up a church? Come on, how do you even put something like that? I mean, so I that's what I'm saying. I mean, I look at it and said, okay, so am I going to reply to all the links that are out there? Of course not. I mean, I'm here living my life. I'm so happy I'm getting speaking engagements. I'll be leaving for the UK in September to go to the Reuters Institute, where I'm a fellow. And I'll talk about the same thing. We'll talk about future of media, yes, but also getting this story. The danger of a single story. And there's always that keeps coming up. So, someone will say, oh no, this is what I had, this is what I know. I'm like, it's not the case.
Laban, uko na kizungu poa sana. Na sauti nzuri pia. Let me use your words.
Yes.
So what was the danger of this single story to Laban-Cliff Onserio?
The danger was that, first of all, it really, my heart goes out to my family, because some things you can say, it's fine, let me just take it by myself. But I think it was too heavy for my family as well. So I feel that. I mean, for me, Mark, I mean, come on, we've been through hell to hell and back. I mean, we work very hard for what you want to do, and I'm saying that because of people might not appreciate the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So personally, to me, it was the effect that it had on my family. And here, I mean, of course, my mom, my brother, my wife, they were in and out, of courts and stuff like that. And then my dad as well, they came in from Nakuru, supported the kids. And that for me was the effect.
To your brand, you're a chief of staff, you're a communicator, you do business news.
Come on, bro.
What danger of that single story?
So the danger is that, first of all, I mean, corporate emceeing, and we've done a lot of that voiceover. I could see some of my private sector folks holding off sometimes and saying, oh, no, let's not do this gig this time. We'll come back to you. I'm like, guys, come on. But it's funny because the United Nations and my developmental partners, they have like, okay, Chief, what is happening? We need you in the UK. Come and let's have a chat about this.
Wow.
So it's very funny. And I think that's Kenya's cancel culture. And I want to speak into that.
Right.
As soon as you've trended, you're like, this is what we saw. And I'm like, what do you have
It's like
seen?
you have leprosy.
Exactly. But then again, why am I getting these invitations from my Oxford fellows to come and speak about the future of media? Why am I going to Harvard in October to talk about the Chief of Staff Association in Africa? So, Mark, the brand, I mean, the Google stuff might, suffer a beating. It's okay. But life goes on. And this is how I'm saying the danger of a single story. Because somebody will just see what is online and paint a picture of you. But what I'm telling you is, in fact, someone was telling me, hey, Laban, you looked at everything looks well. I'm saying, yeah, for sure. I've learned how to play golf thanks to Yen. I'm so happy about them supporting me. So I'm going for less stressful sports. What I realized, rally is intense. It's like you're
high octane,
full high octane. You're pedal to metal, but then you're always on the edge.
Something I'd enjoy.
But then golf, it calms you down, man. You're going around an entire golf
just
course,
walking,
enjoying nature. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So the danger of a single story, yes, I'm doing well. I thank God for it. I only feel bad for the impact that story had to my family.
Yeah.
Because personally, I know God doesn't take you through a process that He does not know exactly what lessons He wants you to pick out from it.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, this is what you want me to pick out? So happy. What I know is, friends, enemy, good stuff, okay. Because Indo shida sisi ma celebrity manzi. Okay.
Well, I'm saying, speak for yourself.
I'm saying that because that's a tagline.
We're on the public space. Right?
Yeah, watu wako on air, watu wako hewani. As in, you think everyone is your friend.
Yeah.
And I feel
that's
so
really
bad.
dangerous.
That's very bad, you know?
Yeah.
But that tells me...
No one cares. No one cares. And you spoke about this, bro. You said the world doesn't owe you anything. You remember during your interviews?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's true. You feel, oh yeah, I have 1 million followers on social media, man.
Those are not your friends.
God gracious.
That's why they're called followers. They're not your friends.
Exactly. Who have I talked about? Who came from Nakuru to come and stay with my kids? My mom, my dad, my bro, my wife, my sisters. That's it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when hits the fan,
Wewe not wako.
who is at your core?
Yeah.
Anyway.
You've mentioned family a lot, and I can see it means a lot to you, the support you got.
Yeah.
But I'd like to talk a bit about, especially your wife, seeing your husband going through such a turbulent time. You're being super positive about it, and you're being very philosophical about it. But the fact remains that those few days were not easy. So, and I know that she was like ride or die for you.
Yes.
So do you want to talk a bit about that?
100% a big shout out, of course, to my wife as well. It's not say like it's. I pray for her resilience. Okay, I pray for her resilience, and I pray for her, behind the scenes. Because and this is just preparing us for even. Because I was even thinking, what if I'm running for political office?
Who knows?
Yeah, what if I'm running for political office? It's going to be double that. You're going to be on the news every day. You're going to be on the news every day. So I'm just saying that. I'm just saying, hold on tight, belt up. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
All right, Laura is my friend. Let's take to that question. Because I think what we were getting at is umshukuru.
Kanasema asante sana.
Umejua amejibu akisema I pray for her resilience. Like there's
like
much more coming through.
You're telling her like Nabado. Why?
It's a good thing, to be honest. It's a good thing.
No, I know she is a strong woman.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Twins,
a daughter who hadn't turned 1 yet.
Yes.
And I can imagine phone calls are coming her way.
Yeah.
Trust me, I think I don't think I've replied to every SMS that I got from the 18th to the 30th of December. And I need to do that. And I want to say thank you so much to everyone who reached out, to myself, my family. Like, I'm so grateful. And it's funny, Shiro, that's the problem. These guys who reached out, we're not spending time with them, we're not hanging out with them and stuff like that. Then you realize, oh my goodness, this is actually my buddy. That's what I'm saying. The last few months have been self-discovery. Unasema, hey, by the way, jamaa nilikuwa nimeweka kando, lakini ona ndo alikuja akanisaidia sana.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm unlearning that.
Yeah.
That, this buddy thing you have with folks.
Actually, because we're seeing each other every weekend, and then when, stuff hits the fan,
tweets, whatever, nothing.
Then I never see you again.
I'm learning that.
Yeah.
Yes, this family, but they're very, very close friends who come through. Now, here's the funny thing. Wale mabishti wali reach out sana zaidi, that the people perhaps I went to the primary school with.
Wow.
St. George's Network. In Nakuru. Guys from US, Italy, Dubai. As guys are, what we do?
Right.
The guys who are in Campo. I learned something again. Guys, corporate friends, no one cares. Jobo, you go there, you work, done.
Yeah.
No one cares about you. You just have to go work and give it your best.
Right.
Why I'm saying that is because it's such a competitive world. So anyone would love to see you fail. Okay, we were colleagues, yes. And I'm so happy you did not fail. I mean, you're doing well as well.
Yeah. I'm so happy you're back from the brink. And that's why we're here to talk about
Wait a minute. But that's the whole thing. It helps. It's okay, but just don't be too buddy-buddy with everyone in the corporate world.
Not everybody is your friend, bro.
Exactly. So I'm unlearning that. I'm saying the guys who knew you before the cash, before the fame, before
the guys
the
who saw you in shorts in primary school.
Right. So then I'm unlearning that. So we started as a junior. We actually have an alumni network.
Oh, that's
We're coming
nice.
up, we're meeting. People who know you for you.
Exactly.
Also Nakuru, you know? Where do you come from? Like, I'm a Nakuru guy and I'm so proud about it.
Yeah.
Right. You said something earlier, and I'll also give an opportunity for you to speak to Bro, who I also know broke his back for you during that time. Teddy, hats off to you. And Laura, your wife. But you said something earlier. You didn't put any statement out. Your family didn't put any statement out.
Yeah.
You're a pro in doing statements.
That's what I do.
I believe you still have the desire to set the record straight.
Okay.
Especially on the misinformation part.
Yeah.
Can we give you that opportunity to set the record straight? You can speak to that camera.
So, I mean, it's, first of all, thanks for the opportunity. I'm really grateful to be here. This is Laban-Cliff, Jamwa Nakuru. Really, come straight up from ground up. I'm so happy with what I've done throughout my career. It's unfortunate that the incident really was received differently by different folks out there. But I want to tell you that I'm here. First of all, I'm not anyone that was described to be. Legit, genuine, hardworking Kenyan who's just out there to make a living. Lessons learned. The last few months have been all about self-discovery. You should see what's coming up soon in terms of like the next frontiers. I mentioned about traveling to the UK, traveling to the US on speaking engagements. And I'm so grateful with what that rough patch did to me. So you're out there and you're saying, okay, well, wait a minute, want to partner, want to have a conversation, more than happy to do that. I should also take this opportunity, Mark, to mention that I stepped down as Chief of Staff at the Standard Group. Not to me, I've joined now the Standard Group Alumni Network, where now, of course, as I said, there's lots of transitions in media. So I'll be working in as a freelance business executive, and I will be doing a lot on the Headhunters show. That's what Katie and Home, which just got rebranded as well. So yes, I'm out of the exco, but of course helping a lot on the other side. So
great.
It's amazing, and I'm happy to the Chief of Staff Association who have appointed me as the regional director. So I'll be helping the global body of the Chiefs of Staff build on the membership in Africa. So these are Chiefs of Staff in military, in government, and in the private sector. So I'm so happy with all the colleagues out there in the world. And yeah, we'll be going to Harvard to talk about how do we build that momentum. So yeah, mentorship, golfing, what else? Rallying, I'm not stopped rallying. It's just pausing for now.
Yeah, you need to chill for a bit.
Family.
Yeah.
And yeah, I should mention about my last born daughter, Labella. I mean, that's great inspiration, to be honest.
Yeah.
Why do you do this, what we do? I mean, yes, you can only make so much money, but at the end of the day...
You're a girl dad.
Oh, yes.
I can see it in your face. There's something about, like, you can have all the boys in the world, but there's something, goodness. Your daughter just so has you around her little finger.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And she's adorable.
Oh, thank you.
So you've set the record straight. There's some questions, and you could tell us what you're comfortable or not comfortable saying.
Please go ahead.
Meshak Omuko, Brand Tumaini aliandika kasema, hello, Mark. Shiro, to Onserio, if he is comfortable, he can let us know what happened on the Grenade, America quote mark, Grenade allegations case that happened. His side of the story on what happened will be appreciated.
Yeah, 100%. What's your name again?
Anaitwa Meshak.
Meshak. So yeah, Meshak, there's a confrontation that happened. We had an altercation, Meshak, sorry. The thing was sorted out, and yeah. I'm not a terrorist, just to confirm to you.
Yeah, to be clear.
To be clear. Yes,
to be clear.
Yeah.
Let me ask you maybe in Swahili. Kuna wale wako na rungu, kuna wale wako na njora, Nini ingine watu kwa nayo na nini nyahunyo.
Nyahunyo. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So ulikuwa na hizo ama ulikuwa na kitu ingine?
Sasa sema ikakuwa confused kwa kama
So hakukuwa na grenade.
Ati?
There was no grenade.
It was not a grenade.
Just clarify, set the record straight for them.
It was, and I'm being very silent because this is a court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally appreciate. That's why I said what you're comfortable
Yeah, you have to
saying.
measure your words. I agree
Yes,
with that. Yeah.
Yes. So it was a device, yes, that I don't know how to put it because you see, in any way you say it was spent. It was given to me as a souvenir.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
It was given to me as a souvenir, and yeah.
So it had no
to be
capability
construed.
to
Yes.
explode, is what we're saying.
At you know, because it was taken through some experts and they had to look
Yeah.
at it as well and see it was not anything that was going to be lethal to cause death.
And you had no intention of using
Yes.
it in that way.
Yeah.
So that story of you threatened
Nothing.
to
And no blow up the
detonate.
child. And that's for me is the hurting bit. You know,
The
was-
misinformation.
Ernie's Diebwa.
but you know, at the hearts of hearts, and that's what I'm saying. God, you know, at the hearts of hearts, you know what made you. You know what?
Yeah.
The
Church built you.
Yeah. So when that's when friends right that you want to blow up a church, man.
Yeah, you see, that's why I asked you. Like, did you feel a sense of, wow, I thought I knew you. Why would you say
But you
something
see,
like this?
so Shiro, am I gonna? Yes, I felt it. Yes.
Yeah.
But what was top of mind? Top of mind was Labella.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I need to see her every day, and I'm so happy to the authorities that I had exclusive access. My family could come and see me anytime,
Which is great.
which is great. So,
Yeah.
so yes, I see that. But what was priority?
Your family.
My family, yeah.
Yeah,
Family.
I get that.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's why I like, and that's why I'm comfortable with these conversations because, I mean, you've grown out of it. You're happy. Things are moving on for you, going on well for you and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Danger of a single story.
The danger of a single
and Kenya's
story.
cancel culture.
Yeah, because again, we run with stories and we're not in full possession of the facts, and
Then I felt
I'm cancelled.
Yeah. Those rejoinder statements used to get. That's what I felt like now I felt like I needed
Your
to do
story one, story two, and story three.
Then I'm like, okay, no. We need to clarify to the media that this is. Now I felt how those guys.
Yeah.
Like in one sentence, how would you feel being the subject of misinformation?
Misunderstood.
Right.
Misunderstood, misrepresented. Yeah, the brand. I can't say brand damage. Look, brands go through, rejuvenation. So I'm going through a brand rejuvenation.
I like even
I'm
that.
not out.
I like that. Not even call it a transition. It's
nothing.
rejuvenation.
Because to some people, it's like, oh, I should mention because someone was like, whoa, I felt Laban. I pray for you every day. When I saw the story, I was praying for you.
Okay, thanks.
Now, when I saw you with the UN, I was so glad. I said, thank God, he's finally back. So I'm like, what are you thinking?
I didn't go
I
anywhere.
didn't go anywhere. But I'm so happy.
Yeah.
And those are the guys that like to meet. It's like, oh, Laban, I was praying for you, you know. And I'm mentioning that because they were so sincere.
Right. Yeah.
They were just so like, oh my goodness.
You do realize, though, the danger of that single story,
Yeah.
especially when it has the title of terrorism, the misinformation in that part, is what people are worried about in terms of your access now. And because you travel a lot, is that a problem? Is that a danger? Because you've just mentioned that you're planning to travel. Has that been a danger?
No, it's not because, as I mentioned, investigations went on, and I'm happy for those 12 days. It's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And those 12 days were great in terms of just trying to read perspective. And listen, I should mention, great because you're sitting with people who, listen, it's alleged. Because you know, at the time you're not, if you've gone through the system, of course, you're tested. You have a chat with other folks. So what happened to you? So what happened to you?
What are you in for?
Oh my God, I sat with folks who, yes, they've had issues, they've gone through, a process, but it was nice to hear also from their perspective. What exactly was was the fault they had?
Yeah.
Whether you're,
Wow.
something as simple as someone was caught with ivory. Do you know if you get caught with ivory, you're going in? Like if
Whether I'm the one who
whatever
said
soup.
for it or not.
I told you it's a soup. So
Yeah.
you've been given ivory. What are they called? Yeah, it's just a nice.
A little ivory pin
Yeah.
on your dress, and then you get
You're
arrested
in.
for that.
You're in. Now look at some of those things are like so simple. You've traveled, also I was given this and everything. Cote d'Ivory, cannot speak English, so you have to get a translator, and the translator has to, something like that.
Wow.
So it gave you perspective.
Yeah, you've traveled, your passport, you have the wrong documentation. You're from West Africa. The guys will take you in.
Do you know?
So I met people who, international guys who travel, they have the papers are not right. You're in.
Did you see the look I gave you when you said, it was a good 12 days?
Yeah.
I gave you that because I will tell you, I have been a journalist now going on 15 years, and that is the first time ever in my entire career that I've ever had someone calling being in custody as a good experience.
Listen, good experience number one, as I said, and hats off to ATP. I mean, I was treated like they're my buddies to date. Like, I'm so happy. The entire network that I dealt with, I'm so grateful to them. And I'm saying that because you're learning, Mark.
Yeah.
You're learning. You're like, this is what it is. Okay. Procedure is, number one, we take you to the experts. Number two, get a lawyer. And number three, this is the system. Like understanding that. It's good to report about it, but going behind the scenes.
There's a part that said that they were asking for more time, hence the 12 days to do for search warrants.
Yes.
Did they gain that?
Yeah, exactly.
They went
phones, conversations, social media, what's happening. It's okay. And if you have nothing to hide, you present everything to. And I'm so grateful that I also learned this is the procedure. This is what, because I think Kenya were used to, what do you call it? Fast track the procedure.
Yes.
Fast track the procedure.
Yes.
No, but this
You
is
went
what
through
happened.
it all.
What? Understand it, This has to go like this. This has to go like this. So I'm saying, okay, maybe great might not be. It was a good 12 days too.
It's the way people we use this term as a joke.
Yeah.
Nowadays, character development.
Right.
But in that sense,
Yes.
it's like we can be. And then
It's
even though you said that you wanted to go through the process with integrity.
Yes.
Because I think that's what matters, so that people don't be like, oh, he was out in 2 days, but because of where he used to
Yeah,
work.
he's connected. He made a call.
Oh, man.
Speaking of which, you made calls, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. To lawyers as well.
Yeah, to lawyers, people who you had access to.
Yeah.
Kuna wase ulijua 100% they would pick the phone and they didn't.
All the guys I called responded. Remember, I don't have my phone.
Yeah.
So it was my family that was reaching out.
Yeah, those people who reached out.
So they came through.
People came through.
But of course, there's some who were like,
a few.
okay, what happened? So that's what I'm saying. This was great, because now come back, and I'm saying come back loosely because
You never left.
Mungu ujui.
Yeah.
But I have the fire in the belly. Like it was, maybe what can I say? I'm trying to get the intensity. Like it's Laban-Cliff 2.0 now.
Yes, Pro
It's
Max.
Laban-Cliff 2.0.
Pro Max.
Yeah, if 10 years of hard work can get me in senior leadership in a listed media house at just 34, what if I put another 10 years?
Where will you be?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But, and then here's the thing. It's like the world is your oyster. And I feel like we're always like, oh, it's in Kenya. No, breaking boundaries, man. Breaking boundaries. I'm looking at the region. I'm looking at Dubai. I'm looking at DC. I'm looking at London. There are lots of companies that are willing to invest here. And I should mention about the Headhunter. That's the reason why I do the Headhunter. The Headhunter is a show that talks
give you a call.
Oh, please, let's have a chat.
Yes.
The guys will say, oh, Laban, please give me a chief of staff. I'm looking for a chief of staff. They don't want to advertise. They don't have time for it. They just have the money to pay. They say, this is a job I have. Get me somebody.
Right.
And if you refer them, I'm hiring them. Can you imagine?
Wow.
So do I have time to really go out on this flack? And I'm so happy with those guys, those friends of mine who were like, hey, this is the business we're giving you. Get me somebody, and that's what we do. So I was so inspired by that. That's when I started the Headhunter show, because the Headhunter now speaks to these recruiters. So what
do you want? What do you need?
Yes.
Because on this other end, I have friends who are looking for jobs.
Right.
And they're like, oh, Laban, I've applied, I'm trying hard, it's not working. Then I speak to the recruiter and I say, okay, what exactly do you look for? Oh, it's mind-blowing.
Right.
It's okay, the books will take you there, but they might not keep you in that job.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, as I said, again, I stepped down from Exco at Standard, but I'm still part of the team, the commercial team, and I'm also helping out on the Headhunter show, which will get a sponsor and will try and support. But at the same time, the Chief of Staff Association is also helping me get some of these guys.
And you're there as a regional
director
for Africa,
Yeah.
Good
Chief
for
of
you.
Staff
I
Association.
love that for
It's
you.
amazing. It's-
Good for
yeah.
you.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that international network. I'm happy with the checking in. And it's always
Yeah.
good. It's also taught me a lot about, if I'm not checked up on you, please reach out.
Yeah.
She was the same thing. I mean,
Yes.
just reach out.
Yes.
It's okay. Yeah, you might lose touch and say, oh, yeah, this is what happened. That's what I'm saying about the Standard Group Alumni Network.
Yes,
Nation Media Group Alumni Network.
Yeah.
CNBC Alumni Network.
for sure. Yeah.
Because it means, yes, we're colleagues, we work together. It's okay. It doesn't mean that we never work together. I mean, things change. So I'm so happy with that. The guys that worked with the State House, friends to date. I have friends who left working for the UN in New York and came and took up jobs here. So the time together with them, the 3 years were amazing.
Yeah.
Let me
So,
ask this. You've mentioned the 10 years that you've built and have achieved so much. I almost said Achovin, and would have had my head for that. But you've realized the danger of a single story can bring all those 10 in one day or in
Yeah.
one
All the
moment.
dominoes.
It hasn't.
All
It
that.
can threaten to.
It can.
It can threaten.
Yeah.
It can threaten your career
Yeah.
in one day. Was there ever a moment in the 12 days that you were in custody you felt, I blew it?
Yes,
blew my
Well,
Sorry,
that's-
I see,
I see what you're doing.
sorry. Sorry, I mean
Mark.
dang,
But yeah,
I messed
Yeah,
up.
was there that moment where you're like,
of course.
what?
Yeah, it was like, hey, man, what would I have done different? I'm like, okay, should I
Yeah.
have gone? Should I not have gone? Should I have done this? I mean, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Where you dissect every moment of
Yes,
that day.
Yeah, so you're like, okay, what
Yeah.
shoulda, coulda, woulda. But so I'm saying, if God takes you through something, it's for a reason. And I just want to pick up the lesson. I want to pick up the lesson. That's it. Pick up the lesson. Some, yes, I'm still working on.
Yeah.
Still trying to rediscover, adjust here, do this. It's exactly what we do in rallying, bro. I mean, you come in, you suffer a crash. We've rolled in a rally car, just seeing the finish right there. You've rallied for 3 days. Then the car you come around a corner and the car just flips, pop, 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 pop. Everything just comes grinding to a halt. Do you know what happens? Your rally's over, Crimea River, put the rally car on a flatbed, back to the garage.
So it's like the power of pivoting.
Exactly. So strip the rally car open, start now rebuilding. This is broken, change. Bring this, change.
Yes.
Next, change. When is the next race? Crunch time begins 1 month to the next safari. I mean, or the next rally. I mean, I'm saying that because this is something that happened to us.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we literally rolled.
With Nzioka?
Yes. And
You're a co-driver. You're the co-driver.
Yes, at the time.
At what point of that analogy are you?
So right now I'm rebuilding. I'm in the rally car now. I'm in the garage.
You've left the flatbed.
Yes,
Now you're in
so
the-
I'm the garage. So I'm
Yes.
rebuilding. So I've already done this. Strip the car open and now start do the roll cage. Check any cracks in the roll cage.
And coming back bigger and better.
Yes, this fitting this. So I've just not got the rally car out of the garage.
But it's coming.
It's coming. Yes. So watch out.
I cannot wait.
But you see, and that's the beauty about sports, Mark. And it's the lessons, and I'll be speaking about this actually at Kofisi, who I'm happy to be the ambassador actually, and I'll be working with them to just, bring people together and talk about sports. What do you learn from sports?
Yeah.
Right.
So rallying has taught me resilience, not giving up, pushing to the limits and stuff like that. So I'm happy with what golf has done. Golf now is trying to create a balance to that, because you might start well and not finish well and stuff like that. So it gives you that balance. That's not pretest.
But they say it's mentally involving.
Exactly.
Golf. Like
You must be in the game.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the time that this rally car, if maybe it's a career or whatever, it's in there, you're trying to fix this, of course, as you go in, you might roll again. I'm just saying, that's not the plan.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's to understand that this time around, if I come around that corner,
You're prepared on how you're going to take
you prepare how you're going to take it.
Yeah.
High five, my dear.
A digital high five. And Andongo says hi, and she says, Chimamanda has written about the danger of a single story.
Yes.
And she recommends that read.
Yes.
John Bosco apart says, Laban convinced me to join a networking groups while in Campo.
Nice.
This Jama is the real deal.
For sure.
And Sikolia Kisaka says, being a mental health advocate,
Yeah.
I would like my friend Laban to share on how he was able to ensure the season he has been through didn't drive him into the depression or worse.
Yeah.
What would you tell Sikolia?
Sikolia, 100%, and I fully agree. I mean, there's conversation regarding speaking to people, speaking to friends, speaking to therapists, understanding what that does to you. That's what I'm saying. The first 90 days are really, really tough because there are too many balls up in the air.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. So and I know the pressure around was there. You need to see a therapist so you can just unravel what's happening and stuff. But I find my perspective in that whole, sporting. The golf has really helped. Something calming. I mean, just taking a walk around nature. And so I'm saying our careers, Mark, are really fast-paced.
Very.
I mean, you're on air, finish, next, tomorrow, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
You're back in. So I'm out of that
the rat race.
Yes, the rat race.
Yeah.
That in itself is mental.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really cool. So you think, and I'm like, okay, cool. Mark, for the last 10 years, straight out of Strathmore, I'm so happy to Strath, for giving me the opportunity. I got a job even before my graduation dinner. So in the last 10 years,
what a blessing.
I have never known what it means to be out of an 8 to 5. What I mean is that you're now in charge of your own time.
Yeah.
You're 8 to 5. I mean, the Chief of Staff Association is virtual, so I'm here. I mean, the association is in the UK, so I can just quickly do virtual and stuff. And the travel is just once in a while.
Yeah.
But never been out of an 8 to 5. So I'm imagining, what I call them, the corporate, what are those guys called? It's not to say they're not focused. It's just that, you're in such an intense job and all you're doing is just gliding through. Just gliding. It's okay, you'll get the promotions, you're out of office, next thing you have an MBA thing you're doing.
Yeah. And
now just unplugging yourself from that system. I've seen guys doing that actually. I'm taking a career break.
Yes.
It's not to say that they're jobless. They're just saying, oh, no, it's okay. I've resigned. I just want to take a career break.
You take a breath.
Those things are unheard of from where I come from.
Oh, we don't have that privilege.
Remember what we were talking about earlier, because he and I were talking about how African children are being conditioned. What are you doing idle in my house? How can you relax?
Go
and do something. Go and iron the kitchen.
Something.
So you're telling Sikolia what kept you sane?
Kept me sane was sport as well.
The golf.
The golf, the sport, and getting out of that.
Unplugging.
Reset.
Yes.
If 12 days without your phone, boss, I can do without a phone.
Listen, what do I keep telling you, Mark?
I'm still managing that.
I can do without a phone.
Yeah.
But you were never out of. I mean, imagine Twitter, WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Man, this thing can kill you.
You're literally overstimulated for every minute of every day.
Finish Netflix.
Yeah.
Any killer activity just comes into, you just focus. What am I picking from this? What am I getting out of this? I mean,
for sure.
Gadgets, out. You can do without them.
But 12 days custody. 12 of those days was Christmas when you're meant to be with family.
Yeah.
That didn't get to you?
Boss, as I'm saying, hats off to the DCI, ATP. May I respect those guys, 100%. I had full access to my family, just so you know. My wife could come and see me anytime. My kids could come and see me anytime.
So even though you're not at home, you still saw your family over Christmas?
We had Christmas lunch. Oh, I should mention this actually. My family made a Christmas lunch and we shared it with the guys who were also arrested who were there over Christmas and with all the security guys who were there. So they all joined us for the Christmas lunch at ATP.
Oh, you're a smooth guy. You're working your way
wow.
even in custody. There you're protected.
I was not buying my way out. It was just like, guys, let's come and share a meal. That was amazing. And Labella was there with us.
He was like, have you watched?
So how old was she? She's not even a year. She came in.
She was a baby.
Of course, I can't share photos or anything.
Yeah, don't.
Danger of a single story, Mark. We shared a meal. As in the cops, the inmates, myself, my family, as in name it. We just shared Christmas lunch. So then I see Laban-Cliff to spend Christmas in. It was not in jail, my goodness. It's not jail.
It's custody,
I was going through a process.
Yeah.
But the process came at a time when it was the holiday season.
Right.
So you're going to jail if you've been confirmed that yes, you are a criminal and you're going in.
Yeah.
We shared lunch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro, I mean,
you just didn't have your phone for 12 days.
You just didn't have your phone.
I just didn't have my phone. It's okay. But everyone was there. My grandma was coming from the States. She came in, so a day after Christmas, she said, you know what, I'm going to see my grandson. So she came and got us a crate of soda and mbuzi and some nice kissy veggies. So again, 26th, we had another Christmas lunch.
Look at this guy becoming a celeb.
Do you know what he reminds me of? I don't know if you guys have watched his film, The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Where, okay, so there's this man who's in prison, and then at some point, to curry favor among the other inmates, he managed to get he was on a work detail, and then he managed to get his fellow inmates a case of beer as they were working. Oh. Actually, that's one of the finest movies ever made. You should watch it.
And speaking of that, those 12 days, that can be actually a season of a podcast in itself, or even a short story.
I can actually produce you if you want.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
The summer box.
Story tayari, day 1, day 2, day 3, Christmas in custody. You know?
Because of how you're seeing things, your perspective is so... Like, Mark and I keep having these physical reactions to the things you're saying. Yeah. It's like, oh, it was great. And you're like, huh?
Because people outside here imagine, hey, oh, Jamaa Kondani. Oh, God. Do you know what they say about, oh, you're in custody?
Yeah.
So
God, I wish I would show you some of what you have access to is the photos maybe that were in the courts and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Which is okay. I mean, I was in my suit and tie.
I was like, how did he manage that? Like, and even pocket Shifiani Kwapo.
One thing that
Your
Laban
Honor,
will
I'm here to
always
represent
do.
myself.
One thing Laban will always be is stay sharp.
Yes. Paushinsky asked this question, though. It's in the same line. He asked, if Laban was still at State House, does he think this case would have been handled differently if you were at State House?
Interesting
The stakes are higher. Stakes are higher, bro.
Yeah.
The stakes are higher. And this is now lessons. Someone was telling me, oh, Laban, you know what? If you were just a junior employee, and come to one of those other employees, things would have been different. But boss, you're the chief of staff in a listed company. The stakes are higher.
Yeah.
What does it call upon you as a leader? It tells you, sorry to say, you're under the microscope. And it's okay. You're born, that's what God gave you. So the stakes would have been higher.
But if this,
people expect you to.
If this incident, this December 18th, happened while you were still at State House,
same process. Still,
you would have undergone. You wouldn't have been able to snuff out the story.
Still same process.
Flash your identity card and
Boss,
say, "Mean your State House."
You're a public figure, and that's a price you have to pay. That's a price you have to pay.
Yeah.
You're a public figure. The price you have to pay. You get?
Wow.
So it's fine. I mean, I look at it and said, oh God, people get away with lots of other things, man. Why me? Why me? Why me? I'm like, boss, you've been on air, you're a news anchor in one of the listed firms, you've been working for General Electric, which I'm so happy that, good perspective, good opportunities. So now when it comes to that point, a lot will be required of you.
Yeah.
So am I scared of taking up a leadership role? No.
Yeah, because
I'm not scared.
Much is given, much is required.
Yeah.
And James Kiriamiti says, talk about a comeback story. If I was a publisher...
Kiriamiti, first of all.
if I was a publisher, I'd sign the book deal with Laban
immediately.
Morning. Yeah.
Maybe I can talk about this when I turn 40. I'm not divulging my age, but I feel like I'll reflect.
I keep forgetting you're a baby.
Oh, please, come on.
Making it sound like a life achievement when I'm at 40.
When I turn 40, 16 years.
A shout out. I just came from the UK. Couldn't make it. He was supposed to be here as well. Great supporter, I must say. And these are the friends I'm telling you, Mark. I mean, they are folks who knew you when outside
when cameras. You were barefoot in shorts.
Outside cameras, outside.
Speaking of folks, what did this do to mom and dad who have met this?
Hats off. It took a toll. Laban-Cliff Onserio. So I'm a son to Mr. and Mrs. Onserio.
Yeah.
Onserio was trending. So it's like Onserio. So when they go to school, my mom is a lecturer, my dad is a farmer in Nakuru. It was like Onserio, Mr. Onserio. So, now offered to their friends as well. But I'm like, when I was reading the news, the business news on NTV, they'll get calls. They're like, oh, we've seen your son on TV.
Wow. So
there was a celebratory for those 5 years, it was celebrations, right? Yeah. But now this time around, it was, oh, what is happening to our son? What is happening to our son?
Yeah.
So even for them, they now know who the guys who are calling when they're celebrating and the guys who are calling when,
Fair weather friends.
Yeah. But I pray for grace as well. I pray for long life to my parents. I'm really grateful. And you just never get old with you'll always be a
baby. Yes.
I mean, sure. There's the way you describe how your mom, would raise you.
Yeah.
If she saw your name in this.
Oh my God, it would. I don't know how she'd handle it, but also my mother is a very, very strong woman.
Yeah.
I don't think we give our parents enough credit.
Yeah.
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 Oh my God.
They're strong. Yeah.
But hats off. Mom, Dad, asante sana.
Yeah.
Much love to you.
And salamu to them too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Shout
you guys
Yeah.
have hosted us well there.
Oh, yeah. Good old days.
And Shiro, this is for you. Wamboy JL says, give Shiro a permanent queen chair for the show.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah.
There it
thanks,
is
one
right
boy.
there. There
Thank
it
you
is
so
right
much.
there. It is right there for you.
Yeah.
Laban, there's one, tufunge kesi, and there's one question that I keep getting is, alikuwa fanya nini na hiyo kitu kwa gari?
Yeah.
God gracious.
No, kuna ile,
like,
iko na rungu sijai tumia,
Yes.
ama njora.
You even may have Njora in my car, eh?
Would you use it though, Shiro? Let me just,
What do you think?
you have a njora in the car.
What do you think?
Okay, the way you put that question across, yes, you would. So, I mean, I won't even walk you to the car.
I wouldn't even say it. Just the people who know me know the answer to that question.
Because, hey, and let's not start a case here, because she has said it on record that she has Njora in the car. But you see why, you know why people ask? Because, yes, it's almost normal to have Njora, Arungu, Nyahunyo. But that which is described, but you've already clarified that it's spent and it was a souvenir.
Yeah.
Was it there for intimidation? Ili unaambia we, unajua ni nini wewe? Alafu unajua watu wajui. Why was it in the car?
Because that was one of the narratives that people were running with.
Error of judgment. Error of judgment. I must admit, it was not in any way intended to use threaten or anything. Nothing. Far from from it.
I mean, because you've talked about some of the things you look back and you say I should have done this differently.
That's what I'm saying. Error in judgment. Yeah, because and Mark, come on, man. We put our lives out there in the risk. We're journalists, man. We're always out there.
Beyond that, you've been in the community of the Gun Owners Association who are big on safety.
Yes.
And there's some stories you've done on them. Yeah. In the sense, like, that's you. You're about safety.
I should clarify because we say now guns. I'm very careful by there about.
No, you've told stories. I didn't say you're a member. You have told stories of a Gun Owners Association.
Lest my friends.
No, I have friends who are in the Gun Owners Association, and I know how big they are with safety. Yeah.
Very strict.
Yeah.
Very strict. If you're out there, if you're a carrier as well, and security. That's what I'm saying. Even with ATPU, it now stops becoming, it's a toy. You realize these guys are doing it. They're protecting the country.
Right.
You have
So by
a
the
job
time
to
he's
do.
carrying it, is this carrying to just protect the country?
Right.
And he's telling you, this is not allowed, this is allowed. Boss, please, never ever, God, that you come in, you collect those spent, what are they called? The cartridges.
Yes.
Yeah, so bullets or whatever.
Yes, and then you just pick it and put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
That's not allowed. Yeah.
Bro, what are you doing with that? But you see, when you're in that space, you're like, this thing looks good. Let me go put it in my dressing mirror or something. Or maybe let me go put it in my desk. You're traveling out there, I love, the farmlands and stuff.
Yeah.
You just get something that, looks exciting to have. Error in judgment.
I like that you've taken that accountability.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Please. 12 days were quite...
It gives you time.
Yes.
To reflect.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, you talk about, there's another instance where I was told, because in the scene, one of the scenes, I handle a gun, or at least I have a gun.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take a picture to use after the show starts.
Yeah.
And I was told,
No.
you cannot post that. It's a real gun. So actually, there was a police on set to manage how we use it. And of course, it wasn't loaded.
Yeah.
But you're even taking pictures with guns. And people don't know. And we see it on social media.
Yeah, people do it
like
all the
they
time,
run into
but-
a cop and they're like, nichukue picture now. I'm a Koko northern part where they find these guys who are herding or whatever, and they have guns.
Yes.
Even that is illegal. People don't know.
But Mark, look, but let's face it.
Yeah.
We travel to Pokot, we do those
Yeah,
stories.
yeah, yeah.
Stories,
We
yes.
meet those bandits.
Yeah.
You get.
And
you can get it. You can easily go and be there. You're covering a story. And someone just say, shika tu.
Yeah.
Because there are places where it's sold in the market.
Yes.
Yeah, next to the onions.
Yeah. So error in judgment, fully understand. But you run away, you see, me, I'm on this other side. Because you already know. And in fact, that's what I'm saying. I like what this thing did to me, because you even become an ambassador.
Right.
I've told you about
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah.
Like ivory.
You can't just be carrying it
Ivory,
around.
yeah. You're a tourist, you'll come to Kenya. Oh, I just collected it from a friend. You'll
Done.
explain to a TPU what you need
Yeah.
with ivory.
Right.
You know? And it's just an innocent thing. You know, my heart goes out to, you know, that lady. I don't know how her case went, but anyway.
Yeah.
I know some people, it was not intentional. So yeah, you did not know your documentation is, you don't have a valid travel document. You're a foreigner, you've come here. What were you thinking?
Okay.
Right.
You know, I've actually considered being a DCI spokesperson.
After this experience.
Because why not? Because again,
there's so much story.
that people don't
good
know.
Guys. They're good guys.
There's a lot the thing that you said about ivory. I had no idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of information that needs to be made available.
The back end, which is the bad stuff. Oh, the police are doing this.
Yeah.
The bad stuff. There's a trending video right now of a cop saving a driver.
The lady cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's shielding him, in fact.
She's shielding the guy from the irate mob.
Yeah.
Yes.
These guys are good. I mean, I feel bad that the stories we tell of them, oh man.
Yet there's so much that
You
they
say to them,
intercept.
They tell you,
Yeah.
Shiro, this guy doesn't know whether he's going to go back to his family or not.
Yes.
There can be, I've told you, there are foiled attacks in this country. And they
That's-
do
we-
that.
we
They
know
don't-
nothing
they don't
about
talk
them.
about it. Yes,
Yeah.
don't talk about it. But what comes up?
The bad.
The bad. Because I'm telling you, when you see them, they're all mashed up or covered up, or maybe they're in their uniform and everything. So now you have a chance with them. I tell them, I wish I could name names, but hats off to you guys, but I can't. It's just because
For security.
they were so, so what do you do? So your media, mnafanyangaje kwa TV. So I'm also explaining to them
Yeah.
to read news on TV.
So it wasn't the kind of because again, when people think about the ATPU, they think about these hugely intimidating people, and you're taken to an interrogation room. And
no way.
so that's not what
So I
happened.
tell you, yeah. I was like, what happened? Oh, you know, we did this. Okay, what we know is maybe Westgate, Dusit, and God rest his soul for the people who lost their lives there. But these are the guys who are the first responders.
Some of them were even there involved.
Mark, man.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Maybe if I'm DCI spokesperson, then I can speak about it authoritatively.
Yes.
But it's just that they give you their own personal perspective. They tell you, hey, guys, but this is what we went through. This is what it did to me mentally. You know, you know, we want the government to help us in the one-on-one perspective.
Yeah.
Both from the side of the cops, also from the side of the judicial officers.
Yeah.
The guys who wake up every day to go to court, make sure the papers are all in order for the judge.
Right.
You know, the judge comes in, you know, what he does.
Yep.
There's a whole network of people behind the scenes. So what you see is just...
I see.
Sure. I mean, for someone to go through such an experience, I would come out, first of all, with, when I'm clear, I'd start following up with the journalist who I saw on the byline who reported,
be
and I'd ask him,
mad.
why would you do that?
Why would you do this
You know
to
what
me?
you do to my career. Another
Yeah.
thing is, I went through the system for 12 days. I'd have some sort of feeling about it. But this guy is actually appreciating the work that they do, using his case as an example.
You see, that's the thing that's also like blowing my mind, because again, I asked you like, and because like you even mentioned like the people who are colleagues, and then you're writing things that are quite false.
Yeah.
And then already that would be a point, like a sore point. I'd be like, wait a minute. And then again, I've spent 12 days in police custody. And I'm like, yes, that they're doing a great job. I need to get to that point of zen, because it's
And perspective.
and
Someone
perspective.
saying, I thought you're going to now leave the country. You're so mad. You're like, I mean, yeah, you have those one feeling here and there. Oh, I'm so frustrated. But to be honest, would I go back to the newsroom? 100%.
Well,
I mean, we've sorted out all these things, the future of media, the cheese has moved, sort out revenue and stuff. Would I take up a leadership role in the newsroom? 100%. Would I work for the same guys that reported my story? 100%. Would I work for DCI as a spokesperson? 100%.
Wow.
Would I work for the judiciary as a spokesperson? 100%. You get what I mean?
I see.
Because now it's like perspective.
Yeah.
Because now you understand. I feel like it's also like a crash course. It was a crash course into the judicial. Like now I can advise. Like I feel like even my lawyer, you know, the way he's advising you, he's telling you how like the responding cases and stuff. Because what you normally get is just like court documents.
Yep.
Then we run with it. On
Okay.
So how does that court document come up? What's the process goes into it.
Yeah.
The prosecutor.
Well,
You know, like the investigations. What level of, you know, what is it called? Information they need and stuff like that. And I got this. So I'm really happy also with the Chief of Staff Association, because we have chiefs of staff, and I shout out to my friend in the UK Defense Forces, you know. So the chief of staff to the principal, and principal here, I mean the president, CEO, or anything. So you're also benchmarking with guys abroad. They tell me, oh, by the way, this is how we do it if it's in the UK or it's in the US. You know, they're telling you that. So there's lots of learning, man. But I just feel like, for instance, I know at heart I'm a business journalist, but now this, I don't know, so I'm trying out to go into, is it security journalism or criminal journalism or something?
Yeah.
But I'm happy with all these hats that I wear, and I'm grateful that God gave me that opportunity to understand how the state works.
Man, you have a way of seeing life and the experiences.
Different.
As we wrap it up, first of all, we have Boniface Minor says, greetings to you all watching live from UAE, Abu Dhabi. What a conversation, keep it up. And also asking, oh, yes, Okari Deno is very much around. He's just quite busy with his Forex business.
Very busy man.
Yeah, making that money. Yes, and we have Kenya Fixer. Come back is the word. Chapa kazi, bro.
Awesome.
Ignore the noise.
Awesome.
Speaking of the noise, I want you to give a word to, and look into that camera, the people who speak about your life without knowledge. But there's the danger of one story or single story, but then there's a danger of someone's post. Speak to that person who doesn't quite have that perspective.
Like, what power do you have?
Yeah.
Like
what they write about people.
What impact them saying, just getting on their phone and typing something about Laban-Cliff Onserio?
Or anyone for that.
So these are keyboard warriors, folks who are out there, and they're like, okay, yeah, I want to put you down. And it's called a put me down syndrome or put you down syndrome, and it happens a lot. So here's my perspective, guys. Yes, with the danger of a single story, always just also get the perspective of the other side. Helps. I'm a family man, their kids, I'm also not talking about myself, there's also the family that's involved, and that's what I'm saying, it really pains that, you know, now you have to, because I mean, later on my kids will learn to ask and stuff like that. So if you're on the side that would want to have this perspective of the story, 100%. But if you're on the side that you want to have pull me down syndrome, no. No one puts you down. You go forth and conquer and push. And this is us, just trying to make a living. So please don't not cut us sometimes. It's just
empathy is a thing.
Empathy. I like that. Like
empathy. Think about it. Like, put yourself in my shoes.
Right.
Yes.
And Moses Omeri says, and you can give the last question, because I'd want you to talk about how you are, you know, as we wrap up. Approaching the future, knowing the past will always be online. The internet never forgets. So how you're going to deal with that? Moses Omeri says, I like the courage you have. Few people will even show up in public to tell this story. Hats off, man. So how do you approach the future with a past that will always be there? Because they say the internet never forgets.
100%. So as I said, it's been months of self-rediscovery. Okay. I approach the future with so much resilience and so much oomph into what I'd like to achieve. I'm so happy, first of all, knowing that life is also very short. It could have gone either way. I should also give that perspective. Yeah. So the fact that I'm alive, it's like, boss, God, thank you. Okay. I'm grateful for that opportunity. I'm grateful for the friends I've made. I'm grateful that my story now can be shared. I'm grateful that I've been vindicated and said, you know what, I'm not a terrorist, and this is exactly what I'm focusing on. I understand. As long as you've handled the basics, first of all, my family, my children, explain to them, this is, you know, it's still young, I cannot figure it out right now. So the future for me now is to go out there, stay sharp, stay focused, all on God, never giving up. As I said, I was traveling heavy. Uni beshte yangu, uni boys man. Nampigia simu, maybe I'm not going. My friend. When the lights are off and everything, when you're on your own, you realize you're actually on your own, and no one cares. No one actually cares. You're on your own, just focus, give it your best. So personally, that has also helped me to travel light. Okay? To travel light. It's fine. Check up on people, check up on friends as well. And it's the folly of our jobs, because our jobs are front-facing.
Right.
You get? So I'm happy that even when the lights are off, I'm still comfortable. We're talking about like, being a news anchor, being on air, like you feel like you're a fish out of water. So whether I'm on air or not, number one, I'm okay with that. Because life will still go on.
Yeah.
Okay. My hat goes out to the journalists perhaps who would say, oh, I want to stick into the newsroom, I want to do this. Hats off to the noise, he's doing his other things, the side hustles as well. The podcasting movement is coming up, and thank you for offering to produce me as well. So I'm trying out that. Can you imagine? I've never even tried out a podcast with all this trend. So I just did my first podcast on the Headhunter last week.
Nice.
Can you imagine?
The world's your oyster.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity for podcasting, corporate emceeing. I'm happy with the gigs I'm doing with the United Nations. So I'm understanding perspective. I hosted the United Nations Second Assembly. I was the moderator, which was live on TV. I think people were shocked. Like, what do you mean? He's actually hosting a... Then after that, so I did United Nations, then UNHCR called, and all these UN agencies, and I like the fact that, you walk into Gigiri and, they're so welcoming. You also understand their perspective.
Right.
So maybe I'm also speaking into my future. I've worked in the private sector, I've worked in media, I've worked in government. So maybe the United Nations is not too bad.
It's your next stop.
Yeah.
But it's the world.
Yeah.
That's what the world is your oyster. And the same case you mentioned, because you can be anywhere. And it's just that whole perspective of saying, I have to be in Kenya or I have to be... No. So if you can tell it from my eyes, is that, guys, I'm not giving up. Yes, I was down and under, but I'm coming back as Laban-Cliff 2.0.
Love it. So finally, just, you've mentioned this before, during this conversation, you have been a journalist and now the tables were turned and it became the story and you saw how it was handled. This race called the social newsroom.
Yes.
So as a journalist and a seasoned one at that, what would you tell the people, especially in the people in media right now, about how they handled stories, having been on the receiving end, now that you have both perspectives?
Oh, guys, man, guys. I wish, I don't know. First of all, I understand, folks, the way you handle stories, you're just forced by circumstances because pressure.
Yeah. Right.
3 p.m., we have to get this thing out. Get quickly.
Yeah.
And we lose out on stuff. So it's like, what's the quickest way possible? Oh, what has he done? Oh, okay, so run with it. Picture, we're good.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a newsroom pressure. I'm just trying to cut them some slack as well.
Yeah.
But kuna ile tu ya malice. Oh, it's just like, no, this guy is my colleague, and let me fix him now. Let's show him.
Let me stick it to him.
Let's stick it. So their interests. So it might feel so bad that there'll be interest going on. I fully understand. I mean, competition will go with the story because I worked at Standard, and there's Nation, there's Citizen, there's all these other places. So yes, there's also competitive rivalry. I know for sure. But to the journalists who's out there to just source and tell the news, tell the story, please don't go with that danger of the single story. There's always the other perspective. I have so much, I'm not calling it intel, in terms of the behind the scenes, the stories of the resilience of those ATPU corps, man. The stories of people who wake up not knowing whether they're going to go back home because they don't know what attacks they're going to foil and what's going to happen. Can you imagine? This is somebody who wakes up every day and you give it your best. You give it your best because you know what? It just might be the last. So imagine now that perspective of that story.
Okay.
I'm not saying it from a newsroom perspective because Christmas, like I would write my own perspective as well. How it is sharing a meal with my daughter and other, arrested folks and DCI, and just hearing their perspective. Hearing the story of the cop, this is a good one. Hearing the story of the cop who took down a terrorist at Dusit, the last person. Hearing that story, what did he do to him?
Right.
Giving your life for the country, sacrificing your life. Your core is Kenya. These are guys who are like they're literally at the apex of the spear. They're the ones who now go ahead.
The first line of defense,
Exactly, first line of. So I'm like, but they can't speak because they, they just don't want to or something. So
it's a job, yes. You also can't really
so the danger of a single story is, it's painful. I mean, to the journalists who's out there and would like to just, I don't know, Mark, but there are good guys out there.
Yeah. I have to ask this because it's still to advice to communicators. And this is, you've said you can go back to a newsroom, you could possibly go back to State House comms team. What would your advice be to the current State House comms team?
Communication is everything. Communication is everything. Communication is the secret of staying in love.
Are you talking about marriage?
What are we in love with
marriage,
again?
It can be anything. I enjoyed my time working for, and I don't want to say formal, I enjoyed my time working for the government.
Yes.
Perspective, Mark. What's the government doing to about the roads in Narok? So then I was put right there into it. The President's Delivery Unit, communications team, to talk about the impact stories that is doing to the Monancho.
How's the current team doing with the mandates that they have, and what would you advise?
So I mean, it's
could be your interview. Maybe they're considering someone.
No, but hats off to Hussein. I have great respect for him as a State House spokesperson, who's a newsroom guy as well. They're doing well. It's just that there's a lot of flack out there, social media, and that's what I'm saying again. Danger of a single story. You're out there just fighting, negative press and stuff. I'm just assessing and saying they're doing well.
Yeah.
But I understand it's a minefield. Like, it's crazy.
Right.
There's a conversation about the CSs, what's going to happen and stuff like that. So getting a quick response, statement from that. But my advice would be to have a center of government communications, like a center of government comms in terms of like saying, okay, look here, guys, judiciary is saying this, legislature is saying this, executive is saying this, and all these other agencies, so that you're speaking as one
voice.
So that also now the president is doing such an amazing job. I always follow him live on Twitter. So anytime he goes up to speak, it's live on Twitter, which is amazing. So you're live on, you can watch him anyway. So you don't have to wait for 9 o'clock news to hear what the president said in Molo yesterday. I already have that, and I'm invested because I come from Nakuru. I want to know, what did the president say about that? That's on the side, but also I'm looking at the projects. There's so many projects, there's so many, I've just told you about the foiled attacks. That's a story that can easily be palatable to any newsroom, like, in terms of what people are doing. But yes, there's no one to see that perspective of the story.
Yeah.
So my advice is, guys, please go on, hats off, push on. Continue fighting the naysayers, but hats off, because it's not an easy job. It's not an easy job, to be honest.
Their work is cut out for them. Shiro, you want to start with the wrap up, and then Laban, you can have the final word.
The final word. Laban, I just have to say, man, like how you're approaching this. There's again, I'm having such physical reactions to the things that you're saying because it's so unlike anything I was expecting to hear. So congratulations, man, and I cannot wait to see what you have in store for us.
Watch the space.
It is being watched. It is being watched.
And thank you for coming to this space.
Yes.
Asante sana, Mark.
All right.
Grateful. Thank you for hosting me.
Sure.
Shukrani sana. I like what this has done to me. I like the energy. I like what's going to be ahead. I thank God for giving me the opportunity to actually, go through this rediscovery. It was a painful process, yes, but I know you have to go through the rubble for you to. And when I'm back on air, it will be different this time.
Yes.
It will be different.
2.0.
Yes. Laban-Cliff 2.0. It will going to be very, very different. So thank you guys for all the supporters. I'm really, really grateful. And for the person who's been praying, I was praying for you.
Yeah.
Keep on praying.
I mean, the guy's in golf now.
Right?
Soft life. And thank you for the comments. People have been really engaging with this story. They were keen and knowing, and you've given some clarification. Of course, kuna wale watasema, haukujibu vile walikuwa nataka, but it happens. You can't make everyone happy. And thank you for being candid about that.
The problem is that we're focusing on making everyone happy. That's the
problem.
And it's a reality that now you want to understand.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Public figure, I'm a journalist, but I don't have to make everyone happy. I mean, things have to just go on.